Look, we need to talk about airlines. Specifically, we need to talk about an airline so astonishingly bad, it makes you wonder if it was created as a dare. I am, of course, talking about Travis Air. Founded in 2008, Travis Air has spent over a decade perfecting the art of the worst possible flight experience. It's not just bad. It's a symphony of failure, a masterpiece of misery. Flying with them isn't just a trip. It's a cautionary tale you tell your children to make them behave. You might think I'm exaggerating, but I assure you, the reality is somehow even more absurd and, frankly, terrifying. Imagine you're booking a flight. You're looking for a good deal, maybe a quick getaway. You see a ticket for Travis Air and the price is unbelievably low. That should be your first warning sign. A price that low doesn't scream bargain. It screams we have cut every conceivable corner and then invented new corners to cut. This is an airline that looks at basic safety standards and says, nah, that seems a bit much, doesn't it? Every single part of the Travis Air experience, from the moment you book to the moment you land, assuming you land at all, is designed to make you question every life choice that led you to that specific airplane. So what makes Travis Air the undisputed champion of terrible travel? Is it one single glaring issue? Oh no, that would be too simple. It's a full-spectrum disaster. It's the unholy combination of dangerous incompetence, breathtaking disregard for human comfort, and staff who seem to have been trained at a school for Bond villains. It's an airline that has taken the concept of no frills and stripped it down to its bare, terrifying bones. We are going to take a deep dive into this flying circus of sadness, because you, the flying public, deserve to know just how low the bar can go. Before we even get into the specifics of the cabin, the food, or the pilots, let's just establish a baseline. The baseline is this. Travis Air is not a transportation service. It is a high-altitude endurance test. It is a social experiment to see how much suffering a human being can endure before they start trying to build a parachute out of their own clothes. It is, without a doubt, the worst airline in the history of aviation. And tonight, we are going to give it the thorough roasting it so richly, deeply, and dangerously deserves. So buckle up. Or, in the case of Travis Air, don't, because you can't. Let's start with where you'll be spending your dreadful hours, the seating, or rather the lack thereof. When you board a Travis Air flight, you will not find cushioned seats, you will not find reclining chairs, you will not even find plastic molded buckets. No, what you will find are wooden boards. That's right, planks of raw, untreated lumber bolted to the floor. It's less like an airplane cabin and more like you're being transported in a crate meant for shipping industrial equipment. The comfort level is somewhere between sitting on a picket fence and being actively beaten with a 2x4. It's just astonishing. The fun doesn't stop with the wooden boards. Because of course, Travis Air scoffs at the very idea of safety features. Seatbelts? Forget it. Apparently, the founders of Travis Air believe that in the event of turbulence, passengers should simply hold on tight or perhaps form a human pyramid for stability. The lack of any restraint system turns every little bump into a life or death game of human pinball. You're not a passenger, you're loose cargo. This isn't just uncomfortable. It's an active, ongoing danger for the entire duration of the flight. It's a miracle anyone survives the takeoff. This seating arrangement isn't just painful, it's a medical issue waiting to happen. Passengers regularly complain of back pain, splinters, and a general sense of despair that sinks into their very bones. You spend hours pressed against a hard, unforgiving surface, feeling every vibration of the rattling plane. The constant shuddering of the aircraft, combined with the rock-hard seating, is a perfect recipe for airsickness. And believe me, on a Travis Air flight, almost everyone gets airsick. It's a guaranteed part of the in-flight entertainment, which, by the way, doesn't exist. Your only entertainment is watching the suffering of others. So, to recap the seating situation, you are perched on a wooden plank with nothing to hold you in place. on a plane that feels like it's perpetually falling apart. It's a design choice so bafflingly hostile to the human form that you have to assume it's intentional. It's as if someone asked, how can we make flying as physically punishing as possible? And Travis Air's CEO stood up and screamed, I've got it. Wood. This isn't just a bad airline, it's a flying chiropractic emergency room. It's a testament to the fact that just because something can fly doesn't mean you should be on it. Now, you might think that an airline with such abysmal hardware would try to compensate with exceptionally friendly staff. You would, of course, be spectacularly wrong. The flight attendants on Travis Air are not there to help you. They seem to be there to actively resent your existence. Their attitude suggests they lost a bet, and their punishment is to be on this flight with you. Asking for anything, even a simple question, is met with a glare that could curdle milk. They roam the aisle with an air of profound disappointment in all of humanity. The cabin itself is a reflection of this institutional neglect. The walls are not the clean, sterile white you'd expect. Instead, they are a mosaic of rust spots, mysterious stains, and peeling paint. It looks less like a commercial aircraft and more like the inside of a sunken submarine that was recently salvaged. The air has a permanent, damp, metallic smell, the kind that makes you instinctively worry about tetanus. You find yourself trying not to touch any surface, which is difficult when the turbulence is throwing you against the rusty walls because, again, there are no seatbelts. This atmosphere of decay and unprofessionalism is truly a sight to behold. The staff make no secret of their disdain. They'll sigh loudly, roll their eyes, and have loud, personal conversations that you absolutely do not want to overhear. There are no safety demonstrations. The most you'll get is a pilot coming over the intercom, slurring something vaguely threatening, and then silence for the rest of the flight. It's clear that no one working for Travis Air wants to be there, and they are determined to make sure you don't want to be there either. Mission accomplished, by the way. It's this combination of rude service and a decrepit environment that truly sets Travis Air apart. It's one thing to be uncomfortable, it's another to feel like you're an unwelcome guest in a flying scrapyard. The staff's hostility makes a terrible situation even worse. You feel completely alone, trapped in a rusty tube hurtling through the sky, surrounded by people who wouldn't help you if you were on fire. In fact, you get the distinct impression they might be the ones who started the fire in the first place. Let's discuss the in-flight meal service, and I use both meal and service in the loosest possible terms. On a Travis Air flight, you will be served food. That is a fact. However, the substance presented to you is, and I'm not making this up, dog poop. Yes, a small bowl of actual, genuine dog feces. It is served cold, without utensils, and with a level of indifference that is frankly chilling. This isn't just a bad meal, it's a biohazard. It's a declaration of war on passengers. It's an act so vile, so beyond the pale, that it transcends mere bad service and enters the realm of psychological warfare. And what about the bathroom facilities? Well, there are none. Not in any recognizable sense. If you need to use the restroom on a Travis Air flight, you are directed to a corner of the cabin. There, on the floor, is nothing. That's it. It's just a designated patch of rusty floor. It is a situation so unsanitary and so degrading, it's hard to even describe. The smell, as you can imagine, is apocalyptic. It combines with the existing metallic odor to create a uniquely horrifying aroma that will haunt your nightmares for years to come. This is not an airline. This is a public health crisis at 30,000 feet. But the ultimate danger, the final, terrifying cherry on this Sunday of suffering, lies in the cockpit. The pilots flying for Travis Air are, to put it mildly, not qualified. In fact, most of them are unlicensed. They seem to be people who just wandered in off the street and thought, you know what? Flying a plane looks easy. Their skills are non-existent, which leads to the airline's most famous quirk. They almost never land at the correct destination. You might buy a ticket to Paris and end up in a field in rural Poland. You might be heading for Tokyo and find yourself in a muddy swamp in Kansas. So let's be perfectly clear. Flying with Travis Air is not a gamble. It's a certainty of misery and danger. You will be physically hurt by the seating. You will be psychologically scarred by the staff. You will be exposed to filth and served literal waste. And you will be flown by an amateur who will likely get lost and land you in the wrong country. This is not an airline. It is a menace. Do not fly Travis Air. Do not even think about it. Walk, swim, build a catapult. Whatever you do, stay off this terrifying, ridiculous, and profoundly dangerous excuse for an airline.